Greetings and welcome to the Spiritual Awareness Journey program, a virtual spiritual talk platform where the practical application of all things spiritual in our daily living is shared and discussed by experienced speakers from all walks of life, with special guests and realized souls called Mahatmas. This hour is brought to you by Manav Dharam YouTube channel. I'm your host today, Govinanda, and we are delighted to welcome you from all around the world to spend this hour with us as we address this week's topic, spirituality and wellness. We are delighted to have an experienced panel with us today of two speakers, Dr. Varsha Morar and Dr. Charmaine Koobaire, and our guest speaker today, Mahatma Dharni. They will share their practical spiritual applications within their daily lives to us. We human beings belong to this one race, this human race. And as a human being, we yearn to belong and understand the purpose of our life. And we seek to know the quest of our journey here on earth. We hope that with all the sharing of our speakers in this hour, you will feel inspired to know more about the need for the awareness of spiritual connection with our true self. That self that in reality is the part and parcel of our divine essence. And to learn that we, by acquiring spiritual knowledge, will gain the understanding of how to forge a connection with our true self and to start our own practical spiritual awareness journey. We can consciously expand our spiritual potentials, becoming acquainted with our divine consciousness, and in essence, to find peace, joy, and purpose within this life we live. And so by journeying together as these spiritual beings in this human existence, reach our true goal, which is, of course, spiritual enlightenment. With no further ado, I wish to introduce you to our first speaker today, Dr. Varsha Morar. Dr. Morar has been a medical doctor for the last 23 years. She resides in the Washington, D.C. area with her husband and two children aged 7 and 9. Dr. Morar is a child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist who completed her fellowship and residency training in Washington, D.C. Dr. Varsha has learned meditation in her early 20s and has integrated a spiritual and meditative practice into her daily life that promotes well-being ever since. She has studied yoga through the Himalayan tradition and is also trained in children's yoga as well as nutrition and health. Her focus is in helping children and adults to realize their potential through meditation, mindfulness, and spiritual awareness. So now I hand it over to Dr. Morar. Thank you.
Namaste, and thank you for joining me today in this talk. To begin, I want you to get a feeling for and appreciate what I'm going to be sharing with you. To do this, I want to lead you through a 2-minute breathing meditation. So we will begin by gently closing your eyes, bringing our hands to our heart center, symbolizing bringing ourselves together, feeling connected, being grateful for this opportunity we have to share and connect. I'm going to start by repeating Om 3 times. Now I would like you to keep your eyes gently closed. Gently bring your hands down. Rest it on your knees or thighs or wherever you feel comfortable. I want you to feel the seat that you are sitting on, to just be with yourself. Feel the space that your body's occupying and relax yourself from head to toe and from toes to head. As you do this relaxation, I would like you to bring your focus and bring your concentration towards your breathing. As you exhale from your nostrils to your navel, your belly, feel the flow of the breath. As you exhale, your belly sinks down towards your spine. And as you inhale, you feel your belly rise up and expand, feeling the touch of the breath in your nostrils. And relax the belly area as you expand it, as you fill with inhalation. I want you to only breathe through your nostrils, keeping your flow on your breath, and nothing else matters at this moment. Whatever other thoughts, anything else that are coming to your mind, it's okay, just let it be. But I want you to continue to feel the flow of your breath, making it smoother and longer with no breaks and no pauses. If you want to step ahead of yourself into the path of spirituality and wellness, I want you to see how long you can maintain this state of awareness throughout my talk and through the other talks as well. And every time your mind travels away, I want you to bring it back to your breath each time you feel it traveling away. Now I'm going to share with you how I've incorporated spirituality into my daily life over the years. And obviously, for the sake of time, I can't share all aspects of it, but I'm going to start with a few important basics. There's 2 concepts I would like you to keep in your mind when understanding spirituality and wellness. The first one is that all of the body is in the mind, but not all of the mind resides in the body. The second one is that spirituality is a science, and every human being has the capacity to develop their own spiritual self and to improve their well-being. With that being said, it means that we have the ability to control our body through training our mind. We have over years developed habits of daily living that affects our bodies and in turn our minds. These are because of our lifestyle, for example, our diet, our sleep, our exercise, just to name a few. We have become creatures of distraction, the constant availability of information at our fingertips. We're bombarded through social media, advertising, television. All of this has impacted our health and our well-being without us even being directly aware of it. We are in a constant state of autonomic arousal, which is not conducive to our well-being. So when we talk about spirituality and wellness, we are learning how to find a deeper purpose, a meaning in our own lives to create healing in our body and our mind. The second aspect is that every human being, it is your birthright to understand your spiritual self. It transcends beyond race, beyond religious dogma. Every human being has the ability to reach this ultimate state of bliss and joyfulness that spiritual wellness brings about. It's not a pilgrimage that you have to go to a shrine to the top of a mountain. You don't have to wait till you are old to develop this. You don't have to leave this world, become a renunciate, a monk, or a swami to achieve this. The true pilgrimage is to travel into your own self, to take the journey into your own being. This will never be found outside of yourself, no matter how much money, cars, fame, fortune that you have. This contentment, this true internal satisfaction will only be achieved by taking your journey right now into your own being. When we had this pandemic last March, I took a very long journey. This journey required no travel restrictions, no masks, no quarantines, no fears of being contaminated by a COVID-19 virus. This was a journey into my own self. And this journey is what you have to start taking now. And it will be a journey that each and every one of our souls will have to take one day. It's interesting to me that the word spirituality stems from the derivative Latin, which means spirare, which means to breathe. How does breathing relate to spirituality? We've all felt stressed, we've all felt anxious, and we know that our respiration rate changes when we feel stressed or anxious. During these times, we need to develop control over our breathing patterns. The other factor is we all breathe the same air. Therefore, we all have the capacity to train ourselves, and the secret lies within your own breath to alleviate stress, anxiety, depression, as well as to attain higher states of meditation. So I was fortunate enough to first learn diaphragmatic breathing and develop a regulated breath to maintain this at all times of the day. This is something that you can practice, for example, when driving. I've tried to do it over the years. You become more conscious, more alert. You'll never have road rage. And you can practice it. I practiced it while I was sitting with my patients, which allowed me, while I was sitting in lectures, in talks, it allowed me to clear my mind and have clear focus and concentration, to really put my whole being into what I'm doing and engaged in at that moment. My patients felt great because I was fully present in the here and now. When you are with anyone, this will improve your relationship, your communication skills with that person. You will become a skilled listener, which is what psychiatrists are trained to do most of the time. As a child psychiatrist, it helped me become a better observer of children. By being truly in the moment, I was able to see intuitively what the children were trying to communicate to me, and thus I was better able to serve my patients. It helps me to respond to my own children more calmly, and this calmness goes into my food preparation, my cooking as well. So a simple factor as developing control of our breathing at all times is the first step into your inner journey to spiritual wellness. This has taken me many, many years to practice, and I still have to remind myself to come back to it again and again. I studied psychiatry because I was curious to understand the mind and how it affects behaviors and the brain functions within all of this. I went on to child psychiatry because I enjoyed playing with children, and I found children are very resilient, they're a joy to be with, and they're also very amenable to change. Our minds, particularly our emotions, they're important to our well-being and our overall health, as you can very well imagine. If you're constantly angry, upset, sad, down, that will impact every interaction you are engaged in. Can you be fully engaged in any relationship if you're constantly blaming and angry at that person? Forgiveness is very difficult. It takes a lot of courage to do. It's easier to ruminate in our minds how horrible we were treated and stick blame onto others. How could they do that to me? Acceptance is very difficult. It also takes a lot of courage. Unless we are able to accept where we are at this moment, forgive and feel grateful, it will be hard for our minds to be cleared of emotions. We have carried baggage over the many years through school, college, work, married life. Do you really want to pass all that baggage to your kids? The journey that we take has to be a light baggage. It'll be easier for you to travel. Likewise, with your inner journey, you need a lighter baggage for you to travel inside yourself. What I mean is that in every interaction you have with anybody, if you're not able to cleanse your mind of these emotions, then how you relate to them will be always colored by these underlying feelings that you have towards them, and that you have internalized into yourself. Through spiritual training utilizing pranayama, which is more controlled breathing practices, you can regulate the yamas or ethical foundations in your life. This takes me to the science of yoga, which helped me to understand the mind, its functioning at a deeper level through daily, regular practice. This knowledge and wisdom is revealed to the true seeker. For example, our mind is like an instrument. Using this analogy, in Sanskrit, it's called antakarana. We have to fine-tune our instrument regularly before all the sounds come together to make beautiful music that is pleasing to the ears. Therefore, we have to practice spirituality daily. So that way, this becomes part of our lives, and that joy and peace will reflect to people around you, your family, your community as well. Now, I won't go into detail into all the descriptions of the mind, but I can tell you that to achieve wellness, to achieve higher potentials and more fuller living, we have to address all these primitive urges, these primitive fountains, into higher energy sources to fuel our daily functioning, to be rid of tiredness, lethargy, dullness in our life. Instead, you will become more intuitive, more creative, more successful, more happy in your daily living. This is reachable. This is attainable to each and every one of you if you are truly interested to improve yourselves. Animals have these same primitive emotions, but humans' expressions are colored by memories of consciousness and more often unconscious impressions that we have stored in our minds. Therefore, all these impressions in our subconscious, sometimes our desires are contrary to our best interests. So we need to have mental purification through practice of yoga and meditation, which comprises the spiritual aspect of well-being. Therefore, it's important to make our minds a pleasant place to be in. Learning the 8 limbs or rungs of yoga as defined in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, through practical experience, one can attain this. I hope you leave inspired today to begin your own inner journey into spirituality and wellness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Morara. That was inspiring words from you and very wise all the same. I'm sure everyone here will be able to take even just a small gem from your speech and actually implement that into your day-to-day living, which we all yearn for. I love how you're able to sort of control and say that the mind is not in the body at times. And at times spirituality is there and the science to train this. We all know that at this point in time, we need to demystify this mind of ours. And as you were able to highlight in your speech there, that the breath is the one clear piece of work that we can use and almost rid our brains of this monkey-like attitude which bounces from left to right, all of the same. Well-being, as you said, has always been found within ourselves, and I think everyone here really truly wants to attain that. So thank you so much for your inspiring words. It was great to hear from you. As we now continue on to our second speaker, we now move on to Dr. Charmaine Koobaire. Dr. Charmaine Koobaire is a graduate of the Nelson Mandela School of Medicine. She currently resides in the historic East Coast town in South Africa. Now, don't blame me if I get this wrong in how I say it, but KwaZulu-Natal. She has been a medical doctor for 34 years, and she recently completed her 30 years in family medicine practice. Her philosophy of practice is promoting biopsychological and spiritual well-being. And in the last 15 years, she has been conducting women's health and wellness workshops. Now, I'm glad to present to you Dr. Charmaine Koobaire.
Warm greetings from the east coast of South Africa, which we fondly call the Rainbow Nation. It is truly an honor to be with you. if we recall the Y2K bug and the anxiety that it caused worldwide, the fear that all computers will crash and cause a crash of the civilization of 2000. So come the eve of 2000, I was tuned in to a spiritual discourse by a very great spiritual scientist who said, no, this is not going to be the case. Even commenting on the Inca tribe and the calendar and Nostradamus and various other predictions that were circulating at the time. And he reassured the audience that the 21st century was to witness a huge spiritual rejuvenation. And this platform today actually bears testament to that. Spirituality has been an essential element of humanity and the foundation of healthcare for centuries. But the impetus of technology of the 20th century somewhat caused spirituality to take backstage. So don't get me wrong, millions of lives were saved because of technology, but holistic healthcare actually was being overshadowed. As I consulted daily, I was actually confronted with suffering in all forms. And for most people that may not be aware, a medical practitioner's life from dawn to dusk is actually facing suffering in all its forms. Suffering from non-communicable diseases, hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, heart attacks. Communicable diseases, our TBs, HIV, swine flu, various other infections, and presently COVID-19. And then our psychological illnesses, stress, anxiety, depression, our occupational difficulties, our financial stresses, and our dysfunctional relationships. This weighs down so heavily on individuals. So if there's so much of suffering, obviously there's going to be a paucity of gratitude, of optimism, of positive thinking. There's going to be low self-esteem. There's not going to be any motivation, any enthusiasm. There's going to be low sense of self-confidence. So faced with all this adversity, that patients mainly are not in charge of their body-mind complex. They are actually at the behest of circumstance. I was starting to get weighed down. I was also starting to run on empty. I had to face with them deep questions about life. What is the purpose of life? What is the lessons in life? So I actually started on my spiritual journey as well. And fortunately, the 21st century saw the role of spirituality in patient care and outcomes. So reviewed World Health Organization definition paved the way for care that is based on holistic care and compassion. So the definition of well-being became the pursuit of growth and integration and balance in our body, in our minds, and in our spirits. So in my search for fulfilling this, I was very, very fortunate to meet with a great spiritual scientist who was also very, very well versed in science. Because as we know, I trained in traditional medicine, which was based on science. So I needed some criteria being part of this rainbow nation, obviously. So the spiritual evolution and the evolution to consciousness needed to fill some very important criteria as I come from a rainbow nation. The practice needed to be language free. It needed to be culture sensitive. It needed to be accessed by the blind, by the deaf, by the amputee, by the male, by the female, by the rich, by the poor, by the educated, and by the naive. So fortunately for me, I had found all of that in the teachings of the spiritual master. And in my daily life, after I have acquired this spiritual knowledge, in the midst of really, really busy life, I'm able to sit alone in the company of me, myself, and I'm able to contemplate. I meditate every day. I give thanks every single day. I'm able to sit and set my intentions for the day. In my practice, I actually listen with my heart. I try very hard to practice mindfulness majority of the time. And during my consultation, I actually share spiritual discourses with my patients. Because if most illnesses carry a psychological component, which we will call psychosomatic component, and just being compassionate and making people understand the laws of life provides so much of comfort. And I've been so fortunate because I enjoy much better compliance in my prescriptions and management because of introducing spirituality in my day-to-day practice. This pandemic didn't come with any user manual. We're all learning every day. And what consciousness teaches us is to actually find success, seek opportunities during adversity. And it enables us to live a much more fulfilling life. So physically, we are more inclined to make healthy choices. We would choose healthier options when it comes to nutrition. We would certainly exercise more often and would be less prone to substance abuse. Emotionally, we would actually choose positive thinking. We would be more optimistic. We would practice acceptance and forgiveness. Our self-esteem is improved, and we have a general attitude of gratitude. Socially, we become more connected in our relationships and in our community because we share our skills, our knowledge, and our resources, and we provide the support that is in such dire need during these trying times. Presently, there is much interest in neuroscience and neuroplasticity, and there are experiments in abundance to actually provide the necessary information and the support and the proof that if we take care of our body, mind, spiritual component, that we are definitely going to benefit from more fulfilling lives. Again, I would humbly like to reaffirm that wellness is the pursuit of continued growth in body, in mind, and in spirit, which ultimately leads to a much, much, much improved quality of life. I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Koobaire, for your inspiring words. I think everyone here was able to take something away from that great speech you were able to provide. I love how you were able to combine the fact that technology at this time has almost overshadowed spirituality. However, at the same time, it has enhanced everything we do in our day-to-day lives. The way you were able to incorporate the stresses of our general day-to-day lives and how spirituality has helped you personally to combat that. And I think that's something that we all need to take into consideration when we look at ourselves. When you look at within yourself, how are you able to combat that sort of lifestyle stress? And for us, it seems to be the spirituality is the way forward. Again, I love how you're able to describe what's the purpose of life and the body and mind spirituality all combining in one to encompass what we need to do within our lives. Again, one key thing that I really like the fact you pulled out was the fact that meditation and setting your goals for the day is so important, imperative for you keeping your mind in that straightforward and natural ability. So please, everyone, I'm hoping everyone's been able to take something away, and we can press on from here into our next piece. We would now like to present to you a beautiful prayer song, which is glorifying the Creator for blessing us with such a magnificent creation filled with grace. This song today is called How Great Thou Art, and it will be performed by the Bhutanese youth group. Please enjoy. Thank you.
God has created this majestic world. He is our Savior, whose glory we sing from our soul.
And take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration, and then proclaim, my God, how great thou art. My saints, my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art.
Thank you so much for that beautiful rendition of the song How Great Thou Art by the Bhutanese youth group. I'm sure everyone could see the skyline there and wish that in this scenario right now we could be traveling to said sort of places. As we now go to conclude our spiritual awareness journey program, we are honored to present to you our last speaker, a realized soul, Mahatma Dharni. Mahatma Dharam is an enlightened saint from Haridwar in India. She is the disciple of Sri Satpalji Maharaj, who is the spiritual head of Manav Dharam organization. She has successfully provided spiritual enlightenment for the past 2 decades in various parts of India, Australia, Canada, UK, Europe, Fiji, and she presently resides in Mauritius. She is also a doctor, so we've got a trifecta today in Ayurveda and keeps helping people spiritually as well as physically. Her mission is to uplift the soul of man by rendering spiritual discourses on the essence of all scriptures and teaching yoga and meditation to all aspirants. Please let's now receive her enlightened words of wisdom with an open heart and mind. Here now for you, Mahatma Dharam. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavi. And I would like to thanks to Dr. Morar and Dr. Charmaine too for their inspirational speech. And greetings to one and all. And thank you, Spiritual Awareness Journey program, for allowing me to express my views on spirituality and wellness. I would like to start my speech with wellness. Wellness is more than being free from illness. There is 2 words, illness and wellness. But wellness is more than being free from illness. What is illness and what is wellness? So wellness is a process of change and growth. Wellness is the active process of becoming aware of and making choice towards our health and for fulfilling our life. So let's talk about health first, and then we will talk about how to achieve it. World Health Organization, WHO, defines health as not merely the absence of disease, but a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. So this is the definition by WHO. But as Kavi mentioned that I have studied in Ayurveda. So now let's find out what Ayurveda says about health. So Acharya Sushrut in Sushrut Samhita has given this definition of health, or we can say of a healthy person. What is the definition? This is a slok in Sanskrit, because Ayurveda we learn in Sanskrit. So what is the slok? It is said that Shamadosa, Sama Agni, Sama Dhatu Malakriya, Prasanna Atmendriya Manaha, Swastha Iti Abhitai. So what is the meaning of it? First word, Sama. Sama means balanced. So what is the thing we need balanced? That's Sama Dosh, Sama Agni, and Sama Dhatu. All 3 we need in balance. Now let's understand what is dosha. Dosha, we have 3 dosh in our body, and Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. Vat, we can say air or wind, and Vat is for movement. So it is said in Ayurveda that wherever there is movement or motion in our body, it is due to Vat. Second thing is Pitta. Pitta, we can say fire, and Pitta is for transformation, and Pitta is responsible for digestion and metabolism. And third one is Kapha. Kapha is for energy and for immunity. So Samadosa, and second thing is Sama Agni. Agni is fire, as I told, and fire is for we can say that digestion and metabolism. Third one thing is Sama Dhatu. Dhatu means the which thing is holding our body. So in Ayurveda we say there are 7 dhatu. What are they? So number 1 is ras. Ras means all the fluid in our body. Second one is Rakta. Rakta means blood. Third one is Mans, that is our muscles. And then Med, that is our fat. And Asti, that is our bones. Majja, that is our bone marrow. And Shukra, that is sperm. All seven in balanced. So Samadosha, Sama Agni, Samadhatu. And next one is Malakriya. Malakriya means elimination process. Daily we eliminate something, right? Stool and urine and sweat and earwax and from eyes and nose, all this mal. So Malakriya elimination will be perfect. Then it is said all these are related to our body. So in short, I can say that when our nervous system and our endocrine system both are related to Vata dosha. So nervous system, endocrine system, and our immunity system, immune system, and our metabolism, our digestion, and our elimination process all balanced. Second thing, prasanna atmendriya mana. That means when our soul, atma is soul, our senses, and our mind, all three happy. It is said prasanna means happy. So when our soul, our senses, and our mind, all three are happy, then we are healthy. So this is the definition given by Acharya Shrut in Ayurveda. So according to Ayurveda, health is not only about our physical body, but it's also about our soul, our mind, and our senses. And that's why, this is my opinion, that's why with good and nutritious food, we should also pay attention to our thoughts, our mind, our emotions for healthy body. Now let's talk about a relation between physical body and mind. Nowadays, we can say that, and it is said that 70% of disease comes from mind to body, and 30% from body to mind. So we can say that nowadays, most of the disease are due to our instability of our mind. During my practice, what happens sometimes, patients come to me, and they sit in front of me, and they have such a big file they giving me and said, doctor, this is my medical reports, and you can check my medical report is normal. Everything is normal, but I am not normal. I have some problem in my body. So what does that mean? That means that the root of the disease is not in the body only. It's in the mind. It's in our emotions. And if we believe in spirituality or our religious books, so it is said that our root of our disease are sometimes in our subtle body, in even in our causal body. So now we have to think about it, right? So there is a relation between our mind and our body. And let me give you a few examples so you can understand it better. First, I would like to give example from my Ayurveda. So it has been said in Ayurveda that fear, sorrow, and worry also causes diarrhea. There are given so many causes for diarrhea. From there, fear, sorrow, and worry for diarrhea. And nowadays we know, everybody know this word, stress. Stress has an effect on our liver. Under stress, our liver produces extra blood sugar, that is glucose. Why? To give us a boost of energy. So what happened? Chronic stress. If you are having chronic stress, then chronic stress may we can say that chronic stress may increase our risk of developing diabetes. And once I was talking to someone, and that person was also belongs to some therapy, and we were talking about this topic on physical body and emotion. So he told me, and according to him, and what he said that according to traditional Chinese medicine, the main organ that related to anger is the liver. He said that liver is the seat of anger. And from my clinical experiences, I can say that skeptical person always has abdominal problem, especially I can say especially constipation. And the person who carries too much emotional burden will suffer from knee problem. The person who have too much anger always has liver or skin problem. That means for the health of the body, we have to control our mind. We have to balance our emotions. And even I will say that even we need to change our nature. Now, 3 things: we have to control our mind, we have to balance our emotions, and even we need to change our nature. So, how can we do? That's why, for this purpose, we need to be a spiritual. For this purpose, we need spirituality. Spirituality can play a significant role. And even nowadays, study suggests that spirituality is beneficial for our physical and mental health. And spirituality has major health effects, right? Benefits. So, what are they? I would like to give you some examples. What are the benefits? Some of them is uh, it's stronger our immune system, and it reduces risk of disease and reduce depression and lower our blood pressure. And it is said that it improve self-confidence and fitness. And few more benefits are like it gives our life meaning and purpose, and helps us to see the beauty in our life and beauty of our life. And we can say that it helps us to forgive. And most important thing is spirituality reduces fear of death. So these are a few of them, not all. So now we have to think that all these benefits, if we want it, what we need to do. But I think nowadays people are very aware. People are aware, right? And they show interest in spirituality. And what they do, I have seen that some people adopt different kind of methods. Uh, like some people would like to do service, and some would like to do meditation. Some will follow prayer. Some will do chanting and yoga and spending time in nature and silence, etc. So many things. So these are the things people follow in the name of spirituality. But what I want to say is, before we became spiritual, we should understand what spirituality is. What is the meaning of being spiritual? We need to understand it. So, for that, first of all, we need to understand what spirituality is. As Dr. Morar mentioned it, and I would like to repeat it again, that spirituality, this spirituality word comes from a Latin root word, spiritus. The meaning of it, breath. So it means that spirituality is related to our breath. And we know that what our breath is, the function of breath is very important. If there is no breath, we cannot do the prana. Prana is the primordial function. So breath becomes the vehicle for traveling the superficial layers of our mind. And this is the meditation. This is the spirituality. So when we concentrate our mind in our breath, we feel energetic. And we will connect with our true self. So connection is important. We have to connect with our true self, who we are. We need to know who we are. So at this point, I would like to share one story, because we know that story is really very easy to understand, and through story we can easily give message. So this is a story of a woodcutter lived in a village who would go in the market, but his income was very low. One day he heard about a monk, and that monk came to his village. So he decided to go to the monk. Next morning, he visited the monk and said, I am very poor. Please give me some solution of my problem. Monk replied, go forward. He believed in the word of monk and started walking forward. After some time, he reached a sandalwood forest. He became very happy. Now he started selling sandalwood in the market, and soon he became rich. In day of happiness, once he thought, the monk told me to go ahead, but here I am only surrounded by sandalwood and I should go further. Thinking this, he went further ahead and he reached a gold mine. He became very wealthy after getting gold from mine. Again, he thought about monk and thought that I need to move forward. And now, when he moved more forward, now he found diamonds and ruby and pearls. He was very happy, and now his life was with all facilities, and he was very happy, enjoying his life. But what happened one day? He thought that monk knew so many things. He could have been wealthy because monk showed him this way, and that woodcutter was thinking that monk could have been healthy. Still, he doesn't use any of this wealth. And this was the question. I was thinking that why monk gave all this to me, and why he is not using all these things. He can have diamond, he can have rubies, he can have pearls, but why monk is not using anything of it? And he was thinking about it, was what was the reason, but he was not getting any answer. Then he decided to visit that monk again. He met monk and asked that I follow your instruction, and I am very wealthy now. But my question is, why don't you use all these riches yourself? Monk replied, what you are saying is true, is correct. But I am going further than diamonds and rubies. Going further, there is such a special achievement compared to which this diamond and rubies and all these precious things, all these things feels equal to mud. Woodcutter surprised. He said, what is that? And monk smiled and said, that special and priceless and very important thing is nothing but my true self. I go further and further, and I get I become introvert, and I am now with my true self. When woodcutter come to know about it, then he said to monk, and I also want to connect with myself. Then monk said, okay, if you want to be, then you have to be a spiritual. Then follow me. And then monk initiated that woodcutter. And after that, when woodcutter come to know about his own self, that is soul, when woodcutter was connected with the soul, then he come to know that all that much important. But the most important thing is our breath. And he come to know that we have to use our breath in a proper way. So spirituality connects us with our true self. And one more thing I would like to say, spirituality is like a light, like a torch in your hand. To explain this one, I would like to say in different way that you have to imagine. Okay, imagine two different person, both are walking, both are traveling in different places, and it's very dark. The first one walking in the dark, and uh, because he was traveling, he was walking, but it was dark. He was not able to see anything. He was in fear. He was confused and not able to walk more. And the second person, he was also walking in dark. He was also traveling, but he was having light in his hand. So it was easy for him to move forward. So what my point is, spirituality is like a light. And when we have a light, we can see in a very perfect way. We can see the things as it is. And if there is a light, I would say that there is no fear. And that's why we heard that it is said that spirituality reduces fear of our death. So if there is light, which light? Light of our soul. So spirituality is the light. And with spirituality, our journey of our life will be easier. So we all need to follow spirituality. And I would like to say a few more things, that we all are born in this earth planet as a human being. And this world in which we are living, we say it is a world, but it is my opinion, and so many of our sages said that this world is like a school. We all are here to learn and grow. So each and every problem in our life which we are facing is not for to make us down, but every problem teaches us something. Our illness teaches us something, but we have to learn. And the problem is, we don't know how to learn from problem. We don't know how to learn from our illness. And that's why we we get depressed. So what we need to do, the solution is spirituality. So what I would like to say is, do not waste your time in life. This life, this breath, everything is very precious. When we lose our one breath, we are not going to get it. So this is very important, very priceless, right? So we need to understand the importance of our breath. And we don't have so much time here. We don't know how long we are going to live. So that's why I would like to say that don't waste your time and your life too, right? But follow the path of spirituality. Get the spiritual knowledge and try to do meditation, as Dr. Varsha said, meditation. Very important thing. So I would like to conclude my message, my thought, and I would like to give one more message. I would like to conclude with this message that let's start our wellness progress with the spiritual knowledge to achieve optimum health. So this is my thoughts and what I want to say. This is, I would like to end my speech at this point. So once again, I would like to thank you all. And if you want any question, if you want to ask me any question, if you want to connect me, if you want to contact me, then feel free to contact me. Right now, as Kavi said, I am in Mauritius, and if you have any question, you can ask me. The email is given, so you can email, and I will try to answer your question. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Babaji. We are deeply grateful for all your messages and everything you've been able to share with us today. So thank you for sharing such deep and insightful words of wisdom and your experience. So deeply grateful. Thank you, Mahatma Babaji. As we now conclude our program, I wish to thank you all for your presence today here on our Spiritual Talk platform. Please feel free to drop us a note and with your comments. And if you have any questions, as Babaji said, please check the email that is produced on the chat box now. And feel free to send us any questions. We will endeavor to try and address these at our next Spiritual Awareness program. The next program is on March the 13th, which will be episode 4. And the topic we are discussing there is the habit and cultivation. So till then, I'm wishing you a very healthy and peaceful journey. And please stay safe out there right now. Thank you for our sponsor, Manav Dharam YouTube channel. And I was your host today, Kavinanda. From all of us, thank you and see you soon. Take care. Bye.